Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 6201, the second coronavirus relief bill. Fiscal year 2020 appropriations bills were enacted less than 3 months ago, which included record levels of spending on our public health infrastructure. This allowed the administration to respond immediately to the coronavirus when the threat became clear. Last week, the House and Senate voted almost unanimously on an $8 billion emergency supplemental, giving the administration new resources to respond to the virus. Unfortunately, the threat we face has grown more complex and costly in only a week's time. The bill before us will provide a second installment of supplemental funds and combat the negative economic effects of this disease that has now been called a pandemic. This legislation builds off of last week's bill, where we expanded the availability of tests for the coronavirus to ensure that everyone who needs to be tested gets tested. In his remarks today, the President reaffirmed his commitment to distribute millions of tests and speed up how they are processed. This bill takes the next step to include more than $1 billion to cover the cost of taking these tests, including for service members and veterans. We must ensure tests are administered so that people know if they are infected. This is the only way we can stop the spread of this virus. Emergency food assistance is provided in the bill for seniors, women, children, and low-income families. This includes additional help for children whose schools are being closed as a precautionary measure to keep them safe. Tax incentives are included to encourage American businesses to allow employees to take emergency leave to limit spread of the virus. No one should have to choose between getting a paycheck or infecting other people. We have heard many concerns about the needs of small businesses. In addition to the tax incentives in the bill, more than $37 billion is already available from prior appropriations for the Small Business Administration to make loans. As we watch the impact of this virus on our nation's job creators, I will continue working with the administration and my colleagues to ensure they get the help they need. While bringing this bill to the floor has taken much longer than I'd hoped, it is time for Congress to pass it. This bill will give the President and our public health officials the tools that are needed right now to respond to this quickly changing threat. I urge my colleagues to join me in voting for this measure. We must pass this bill today to help lessen the devastating impact of this global pandemic on the American people. Thank you, and I reserve the balance of my time.